What's up guys? Today I'm going to show you how to solve the Master Pyraminx. Now before we start, I want to let you know that I do expect you to know how to solve the regular Pyraminx before we start solving this. And also the fact that I'm going to have timestamps of each of the steps in the description. So let's jump right into it. Now just like the normal Pyraminx, the first step is going to be to solve the tips. And if you remember how that works, we can just turn each of these small pieces that we call the tips, all on the ends, we could just turn them so that they align with the piece right next to them. It might take one or two times, but they will eventually all line up with each other. The next thing we said in our Pyraminx tutorial was we were trying to get it so that all of the tips would have one same color on one side. And that's going to be the same thing here. We're going to do that same thing just like with the normal Pyraminx. So now is when the steps start to actually differ from the normal Pyraminx tutorial. We have these three tip-ish like pieces solved. What we want to solve next is to solve this piece that is in the dead center. So because I chose to solve these yellow tips, I want to solve this piece in the dead center to be yellow. And all we're going to do that is we're going to find where that yellow center is. So on the left here I have green, on the right here we have red, and on the bottom here I have yellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a middle turn that involves the bottom layer such that this yellow piece will be solved. And because it's on the bottom, I'm just going to turn this middle layer up, and that will actually solve this yellow piece for us. And now the next step is going to be to solve all of these like sub-center pieces that are right next to this pure yellow center. So this is the big yellow center, and these are the sub-center pieces, if we want to call them that. And these are the ones we're going to solve. And we're not just going to solve them so that their yellow is correct, we also want their side colors to be correct. So this one's already done. This is already good. We have a blue, and a blue. So this one's good. However, these ones on these next two sides are not good. We have red, yellow, red, and we have green, yellow, green. This is not a matching line of 3 on either of these sides, so these are bad, and these ones we're actually going to have to fix. And this is how we're going to do that. So the first thing we do is we make sure we take this side that has all of our pieces that we've been solving. We want to put that on the bottom. So for me, that's my yellow side because I have the yellow center and tips done. So I'm going to put the yellow side on the bottom. Next, I'm going to look in the top layer for those sub-center pieces with yellow on it. So I see red and red here, that's not good, there's no yellow. I see red and blue here, that's also not good, there's no yellow. But over here, I see yellow-green. There is a yellow sub-center piece, so this one's good. We want to solve this piece next. And so to do that, we're going to look at what the other color on this sub-center piece is. So it's yellow, but it also has red. And so because it also has red, that means I want these bottom two tips right here to be red. For me, I already have it red, so this is good. However, you could run into a case where you want these two sub-center bottom tip pieces to be red. However, they're not red. For me, I have blue. So when this happens, when these two tip pieces are not the proper color, we're just going to turn the bottom layer until they are. So I remember, because my other color on the sub-center is red, I want these pieces to be red, so I'm going to turn it till it's red. So this is all blue right now. I'm going to turn this bottom layer, see if I can make it red. Now the two tips are green, so that's bad. We're going to do it again. And now they are both red, so that is good, and we can move on. Now how we actually solve this really depends on whether this yellow sub-center piece we want to solve is on the left side or the right side. If it's on the left side like I have here, we are going to be doing this sequence. We're going to do left side up, top this way, left side down, top back. Left side up, top this way, and left side down. That will preserve that bottom center, and will also solve this sub-center piece. If that sub-center piece we wanted to solve was on the right side, we would do the same thing, just mirrored. So it would look like this. We would do the right side up, top side this way, right side down, and top side back. Right side up, top side this way, and right side down. And that will also solve this piece. So essentially, we are just going to repeat that process with all three of the sub-center pieces in the bottom layer until they're all done. However, there are two special cases that can come up, and I'm going to show those to you now. The first one is you look in the top layer, and there are no more yellow sub-center pieces. However, if you look at the bottom layer, not all of your yellow sub-center pieces are done. And when this happens, that means that you have a sub-center piece in the bottom layer that is actually flipped upside down. So when this happens, what we're going to do is we're going to keep it in the bottom layer, but make sure that it's on our front side, our front face. And then we could either choose to do that left sequence or that right sequence that I showed you earlier. I prefer to do it from the right, so I would do that sequence from the right. And in doing that, it's actually going to take that piece out for us. And from there, we could solve it like we normally would. The other case of issue that we might run into is there are no more yellow pieces, no more yellow sub-center pieces, I should say, in the top layer. And although all of the yellow sub-center pieces are done in the bottom face, if we were to go look at the other thing we're trying to solve, which is all of the, what's it called? All of these pieces on the bottom layer, so like how we have a line of 3 here, red, red, red. Here, I would see that we have green, blue, green, and blue, green, blue. These are not matching they're not matching triples, even though this red one is. And so because they're not all matching triples, that means we didn't do the step right. We're not done yet. When this happens, it means a few of these pieces, while they may look right on the bottom face, they are actually swapped with each other. So when this happens, we're going to identify a bad one of them, which would be this one. You can identify that by making sure or checking if the line of 3 pieces is correct or not. And so because this is green, blue, green, which is not a matching 3, this one's bad. So once we identify which one's bad, we're going to hold it in our bottom and front, just like with the last case. And then we'll do the same thing as we did with the last case. We'll either do that left or right sequence in order to take the piece out. So I did the right sequence, and we can now see that it is actually taken out from the bottom spot. And now that it's in the top layer, we can proceed and solve everything like normal, and then it will all work out. Now the next step is going to be to solve the rest of these sub-center pieces in the top layer. And to do that, we are going to be using one of the 5 algorithms that we learned when we originally learned how to solve a Pyraminx. So instead of thinking of it as a big Master Pyraminx with a bunch of million pieces, we're just going to be focusing on these sub-center pieces in the top layer, and we're going to pretend those were the edge pieces in the top layer of a Pyraminx. And using that idea, we can recognize this as one of those last layer cases from the original Pyraminx tutorial, and we can perform the same algorithm from that case. However, we will be using wide turns, like you can see I am doing now. And in doing that, that will actually just solve all of these, these sub-center pieces for us. Now, once you've done that, we are on to our next step, which is to finally solve all of the rest of the pieces that are in our dead center. And there's 2 cases you might have. The first case is when you have a double swap of pieces and a double swap of other pieces. So you could see these yellow and red centers are swapped, and these blue and green centers are swapped. When you have a case like this, you're going to put 2 of them you want to swap in your front and bottom. So see how this is, these blue and green are swapped, so they're in my front and bottom, so this is correct. When we have this, we're going to do this sequence. We're going to do a wide left turn down and a wide left turn right. A wide left turn up and a wide right turn up. And we're going to do this 2 more times. So left down, left up, right up, left down, left up, right up. And that will solve all of the centers for us. Now, the other case you may run into is where one of your pure center pieces is solved, but the other 3 are swapped in sort of a cycle like this. When this happens, we're going to hold that solved center on our left. We're going to do this sequence. We're going to do a wide right turn and a wide top turn. A wide right turn down, a wide top turn again, a wide right turn, a wide top turn, and a wide right turn down, and a wide top turn this way again. Now, you might have to do the sequence twice, or it'll either be once or twice. But once you do that, it will actually solve them all. So for me, I'm going to have to do it twice, so I'm going to do it again there. But we can see now that I've done it twice, all of our centers are done. Now, the last step is going to be to solve all of the rest of the edges on the cube. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pick a side that we want to solve the edges of first. And I've been working with yellow on the bottom for most of the solve, so I'm going to choose to solve the yellow side edges. And to do that, I'm first going to put this yellow side on the bottom. And then I'm going to look in this layer right here, this like middle, bottom, top layer. I don't know what you want to call it, but this layer right here, I'm going to look for yellow edges in here. So I can see green, that's not yellow. But I do see a yellow over here. And this is yellow and blue. So what I'm going to do is, just like before, I'm going to turn this bottom layer until the blue, which is the other color on this yellow piece, matches with these 2 tips. So this is blue against green and green, which is not right. Now it's blue against red and red, which is not right. but now it's blue against blue and blue, which is correct. And so again, we're going to have two different things we do depending on if our yellow is on the right side or the left side. So remember, I was solving this yellow that's on the right side. So when we have this case, what we're going to do is we're going to do the top this way, small right side up, top back, and small right side down. If the yellow piece I was trying to solve was on the left side, instead, what I would do is the top this way, small left side up, top back, and small left side down. So we do that with as many of the yellow pieces, or pretty much all the yellow pieces that are in this lower layer here. And once you've done that, you're going to move on to the yellow pieces that are in the topmost layer here. And you're going to do the exact same thing, it's just in the top layer. So what I would do is find a yellow piece here in the top layer. I have one right here. The other color is green, so what I would want is to have green on our front two tips, and that is correct, I have that here. And because it's on the left side, I'm going to do that left sequence just with wide turns this time. So I turn the small top this way, the wide left side up, small top back, and wide left side down. And so you're going to do that until you have all of one side finished. For me, it would be the yellow side. And once you've done that, what you're going to do is you're just going to flip to another side that you're going to solve and repeat this whole process with that side. So what I would do probably is I would just flip to solving the green side now, and I would go through that process, finding the green pieces this time in this layer, solve those, then find the green pieces in the top layer and solve those. You might have to repeat this process a few times, switching sides multiple times and doing that process, but eventually you will have your Master Pyraminx solved. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know whatever cubes you want me to teach you guys how to solve next. Also, click this playlist that's about to pop up, and you could see all of the other tutorials for the different cubes I've taught you guys.